Show. Today we have our guest, Curry Russell, coming at us from Ohio. Curry, how's it going today, buddy?
It's doing fabulous, man. How are you?
Awesome. Doing awesome, man. Got to enjoy the weather today. The weather's been awesome here in Minnesota, so I ain't got nothing to complain about.
It's a beautiful day outside, brother.
Absolutely. So, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I am a veteran, father, husband. Got some little kids, and I travel a whole lot. I'm actually talking to you right now in a hotel room, sitting in Dayton, Ohio, away from my family, and I just work my butt off, man. Every single moment, from the time I get up till I go to sleep, I am trying to build my dream, man.
So now, right now, you have a full-time job, but you're also working online. Is that right?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, and so with what you're doing right now, you have the freedom to be able to log on after hours and be able to punch the clock until the wee hours in the morning, huh?
I really do, and not only that, I've taken advantage of some leadership that other people have given me, and I actually work in between breaks and meetings, and I've still got my cell phone, so the smartphone has allowed us to build constantly, so you're not waiting to get off work. You can still do things while you're chugging along throughout the day. You're sitting on the toilet working. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I know how it goes. We got some pretty incredible technology with these things and these things here. So, it's exciting times to be living in for sure.
Absolutely.
So, we got a couple of very interesting topics to be talking about. You love hearing the word no. So, I think that'll lead well into talking about haters. So let's start with hearing the word no.
Absolutely. I'll tell you right now, the word no is a representation of the fact that you're actually taking action. So many people are afraid to take action because they're afraid to hear the word no, but you need the word no. You need people to give you the feedback of no. And many times that no turns around and comes back to be a yes. So you have to go out there and take that action to get that no. And what I've found is the more no's you get, the more yeses you get, because you're not concerned about the outcome.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I was in that same boat when I first got started, and I was afraid of putting myself out there because I was afraid of what people would think about it, and so I tended to be a little bit more reserved about it. But I think you're absolutely right on that standpoint. So let's talk for a quick second about the haters.
Oh my gosh, haters, buddy. Haters will talk more about you than the people that like you. So it is so much better to just create as many haters as you can. I mean, just what difference does a hater make other than the value of sharing your name? You know what I'm saying? I mean, so the more you're getting out there, those people are going to come and they're just going to keep watching. And eventually your haters come back, and your haters are wanting to know, okay, wait a second. Maybe this guy is right. Maybe this guy does know what he's talking about. Maybe let's keep watching. And I will tell you, I've had people who literally attacked me verbally come back and send me an email recently, send me a text message, and was like, listen, I just want to let you know you were right. And I was like, well, thanks. You ready to get started?
So while they're sitting back, looking at what you're doing, judging you for taking action and taking positive steps in the right direction, they're just sitting back waiting for you to fail so they can say, I told you so. But while you're putting in positive action, getting yourself to where you're going, they're just losing all of that time about the positive action that they could be putting in.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's it. Most people don't get that. Most people don't understand and I didn't either. So I want to put myself in that boat. Before I joined my business, my multi-level marketing business, it actually took me 2 years to join. So my buddy showed it to me and I told him no. And then I just watched. I watched him from a distance doing everything fun, making money, having a good time. And then finally, he stopped me again and sent me a message and said, listen, it's time for you to really take a look at what we're doing. And we decided to get started. And from that point, I've been kicking myself that I wasted 2 years of my life from getting started.
I hear you, man. Yeah, when I first got started, everybody kind of thinks that working online is a magic one-click system. You find the right thing and everything is just going to magically happen. And I actually bought into one of those things at first. And when I realized that had gotten scammed, I had to go back through my credit card company and get my money back and stuff like that. And so when I got started with the opportunity that I'm with right now, I thought it was going to be the same way. I thought it was just going to be sign up and everything was going to happen. But after about 3 or 4 months, I realized nothing was happening, that I needed to think about what was going on and make some changes.
Absolutely, yeah. And I will tell you, it does give you the impression when you get started that, wow, this is just going to make it do it. It's going to do it itself. But then you realize quickly that it's a lot of work and you need to put forth a bunch of effort to get started. And it doesn't ever quit. And the people who say that they can just retire on a beach and just sit there, if you retire and walk away, you have to have some people who have the same drive as you to be building with you. And it's you got to find those builders. It's tough to find people who want to work with you.
Definitely. So to all the viewers who are here, I see we got a couple viewers. We got Derek, we got Austin. I see Steve. Not sure if Grady's still here. Shout out to Grady Paulson, the founder of one of the companies that you and I are both a part of. And we were both on the call earlier today where Grady absolutely brought the value heavy. And so shout out to Grady if you're still here. Feel free to bring those questions. We want this to be an interactive experience for you guys. We want to answer your questions, and we want you guys to feel like you guys are a part of this conversation right here. So if you got any questions, hashtag Ask Uncle Balls. You guys can add me on Twitter or Instagram at AmbexClue. Curry, go ahead and give a shout out to your Twitter and your Instagram so people can find you there.
Instagram is just Curry W. Russell, the Elite Profit Plan on Instagram. That's the one I'm actually using most right now. And Twitter is Curry W. Russell as well. So I think I actually don't use Twitter very much, and I really should, but it seems like Twitter just is overrun with madness.
Yeah, you're not alone in that boat. There, it's kind of a conversation platform, and so, I try to post some funny stuff on there, but it's definitely a unique character. But we talked there for a second about Instagram. Let's talk more about that, because I know you and I both have been doing some big things with Instagram, and so talk a little bit about the success that you've had with Instagram.
Instagram, I find to be the most valuable tool that we can use to promote any business. The market share of Instagram is quite different. Those people who post there and who are reading comments and are interacting all seem to want something. I mean, I've got messages waiting right now where those people are asking me questions. And so I find that Instagram is probably the best source to drive traffic to whatever it is you're doing. In the past 2 months in one of our businesses, we've created almost 900 leads through mostly Instagram, and by driving organic traffic, using attraction marketing to get people to give us their information and to see what we are doing.
So right now there's over 600 million users on Instagram. They're saying that it's the fastest growing social media platform out there. I know that I've been putting in tons of work on Instagram, and it's crazy because when you're on Facebook, Facebook is really the traditional social media, if you will, whereas Instagram is a completely different platform with completely different algorithms and completely different means for usage. So talk for a second about hashtags. How do you get in front of the right customer on Instagram?
Well, I will say that you need to know your audience, right? You need to know which audience you want to target market. And if you're not target marketing, you're just blasting pictures and videos on Instagram. So you need to make sure that the hashtags that you use represent the target audience of your goals. So, we're trying to build some leads for XYZ business. So we just go look for XYZ hashtags and determine if these are the ones that we want to attract those people. And so what I do for my business is I keep a multiple documents open with a collection of hashtags for me to just copy and paste into every image or video that I make. And it literally has went from 30 likes and comments to hundreds and hundreds of likes and comments on each post because I'm copy and pasting hashtags. Is that pen and paper?
Pen and paper. That's old school, man. If you don't have a notebook that you can be proud of, see notes.
Notes.
Yeah, I'm a strong advocate for the good old pen and paper because the digital stuff, you just get lost in the digital stuff sometimes. But I got pages of hashtags. When I first really got into Instagram, I was told do some research, just like you said. Go in, punch in XYZ company, punch in XYZ market, and figure out what the people are talking about, what hashtags they're using. Because a hashtag is really just it's just a link is all it is. And so that's what I did. I went in there. I found some of the mentors that I know of. I found some of the Instagram profiles that were similar to mine. I found some hashtags that would kind of get me away from all of the marketing too. So I have kind of a broad spectrum of hashtags there. And there's a lot of different strategies when it comes to picking your hashtags. Some people, they use the same hashtags over and over again. And if you have a large following, that's just fine because that'll get you up on the explore page. But for me, I'm really trying to reach out to, as many different places as I can. And so I have a couple of notes on my phone with different groups of hashtags, and I'll kind of spread them around, or better yet, I'll go in and I'll make a new one right off of the list there. But I have lists on lists of hashtags that I can pull from on any given time for any given post. So,
yep. Yeah.
So also another good thing is to really be image specific too. So a lot of people, they will use the same hashtags, hashtag luxury, hashtag entrepreneur. And that's a really good way to get your posts buried under a whole bunch of other hashtag luxury, hashtag entrepreneur posts.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, like I said, it's got to be about the target, right?
Definitely. So, we kind of got off on a little tangent there about social media, but let's kind of get back into hearing the word no, taking action, the haters, and then ultimately here overcoming failures. So talk for a little bit about maybe some of the failures you've had and how you've overcome them.
I've been doing this direct sales business now for about 2.5 years. And in that time, my very first year, I'll tell you, my first failure was the failure to act. I became, somebody said it best, I had analysis paralysis. I literally was spending way too much time trying to figure it out. And I was reading and I was breaking down things and I was trying to find the flaws and I was trying to find the objections. I was trying to know too much. And I love that one of the people that we were listening to recently was talking about this, and he said, it's like when you go to the gun range, you are, you shoot at the target, and then you adjust after you shoot. You don't try to aim and adjust your aim before you hit that target the first time. And so we, in the direct sales business, I'm going to go with most people will try to know too much before they take action. I see this a lot. And so for my very first year, I only put I think 8 people in my business. But my next year, because I had stopped being that way, I just took massive action, and I put over 40 some people in my business in that next year personally. And so we've grown our business. I mean, from 8 to close to 100 people working on that in our business now, and that's fabulous. But it's only going to get bigger as I try to get my people to stop being afraid of action before they fail. And so, but that action led to failure. You have to figure out how to make the mistakes. One of the things I love, and I don't mean to go on and on, but one of the things I love is when you are told to make a list, right? When every business, every direct sales company in the world, the very first thing they say is make a list. And in that list, they want you to put your hot market. They want those ones who, that like you and trust you. And so the very first people you go out and talk to are the people who are going to tell you no instantly. Your family, your friends, your best friends, your cousins, they're going to tell you no because they think you're crazy. They think what you're doing is a scam. They think you're in a pyramid scheme. They think all the horrible things that are out there. And so, but the best part of doing that is that if you can get past the no's of the ones that hurt, the ones that are strangers, the ones who are warm market, who don't matter because you don't see them every single day, you get past the ones that hurt. The first time I showed my best friend what we were doing and he told me no, I carried that with me for a long time. I thought my best friend is going to be the one who's going to build this with me and just run. Nope. He was the one who just shot me down, and I stayed in that no for a long time. And then I got over it, and now who cares?
I have one of those myself. We got together on a multi-level marketing company way back in the day, and I remember that day like it was yesterday. He was messaging me, and I could tell something was up, and then he sent me some information, and I checked it out, and I said, no, thank you. And he finally ended up driving over 2 hours to come and pick me up. We just had an event in the family, and I really wasn't down for, doing what we had done. And so he picked me up and brought me to a home event. And we listened to somebody who'd flown out from California. And this team was growing faster than any team ever, and this and that. And the team had grown so fast that everyone in the area heard about it and knew what was going on. So we literally couldn't talk to anybody in our warm market without them already knowing what was up. And so we were doomed to fail from the get-go, especially when we were, this must have been 4 or 5 years ago. So this was before Facebook Live. This was before, all this attraction marketing and all these different methods, online methods came out. And, I had committed, the last dollars that I had. We had enough. I maybe enrolled 2 people, and my 2 people couldn't, enroll 2 people. And that was all it needed, is if my 2 people enrolled 2 people, that was the whole deal, just keep on getting 2 people to get 2 people and everything would be fine. So I did what I felt personally obligated to do. And then I was left to the whims of other people on my failure. And so, I came at my good friend who had gotten me wrangled into this opportunity, and I said, look, man, I came across something that's different. It doesn't have to do with like hitting up friends and family. And when he first realized what I was up to, he bugged me. He's like, I want to know. And I told him no. I said, no, I'm not going to share it with you. And I could just tell that he wasn't in the right state of mind to be receptive to what I was going to share him. He was just curious. So finally, I just, fine, man, here you go. I said, here you go. This is it. And he watched it, or I could tell whether he watched it or not. And so it was maybe a couple of days went on. Finally, I said, look, dude, I'm really not trying to bug you about this. So just tell me that you're not interested, so then we can go back to being friends again. And he told me, he's like, well, I can't tell you that I'm not interested because I kind of am.
Oh yeah.
So we had talked about it a little bit, and finally he had made a solid decision. He decided, "What's up, Chris? Glad to have you here, buddy." And so he decided he wasn't going to do it or whatever it was. I don't know what it came down to. I had been doing some Facebook lives. Maybe he was a little shied away from the ambition that I had, but I'm not trying to sell products. I'm not trying to sell an energy drink. I'm not trying to sell a travel package. I'm not trying to sell, any of this stuff. Don't get me wrong. I have products that I promote, but I'm trying to build myself like the grocery store down the street. I am building a brand, Ambition Exclusive. That's why I'm doing these interviews, and that's why I'm, putting out the content that I'm putting out. And so, I could run on for a little second about branding yourself and how to protect yourself in this digital era, but I'd like to hear your opinion on personal branding and how to set yourself apart from the crowd.
Absolutely. Your image is all you have. Who you are, regardless if your company falls away, if the products fail, if everything goes to crap, it's you. And so you're trying to create as much content directly related to you and who you are. And so when people watch me on Instagram and Facebook Live and YouTube, you're seeing me talk about how to build things because of the way that I am. And I think you mentioned this a few minutes ago about sometimes we do drive people away because of our ambition, right? I mean, I think one of the greatest things that I've heard a lot is, Curry, I just can't do what you do. I hear that a lot. And the funny thing is that most people will never do what I do. And it's unfortunate because you want people to win, but they're not going to take the actions that it takes to win. They're going to do just enough to, maybe get their fees waived or their products paid for or whatever. But I want to take my branding of me, of Curry Russell, and show people that it's possible to go from nothing to being something. I didn't come from success. I didn't have a lot of people in my life who were, financially stable. I come from a broken home, and I worked my way through the military I have no college degree. I've got no education, and I am absolutely building me. You go to, LinkedIn, and that's me. Social media marketer, man. I'm tearing it up.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. You mentioned let me get back in on the screen here. You mentioned something about the military. I served in the military as well. It was very short-lived. I'm glad it went down the way it went, but I want to hear a little bit about your service real quick.
Sure. I was in the Army right before from 98 to 2002. So I went to war in Afghanistan. I became a specialist in the Army. I was airborne, served with a special forces unit the entire time, and had the most fun I've ever had in my life. I've done more things than most humans will ever do in just maybe 3 years of my life. I traveled to the Middle East multiple times. Was able to drive Humvees in the desert. I've done a massive amount of stuff in the military, and I really give most of my drive in life to the military. The ambition to chase rank, the ability to chase as big as I possibly can get by my efforts. And so I think when direct sales came into my life, I married that ambition up with direct sales and their platforms and said, well, nothing can stop me. There's no person that can stop me from reaching the top. All I have to do is keep going. And so I literally took that and have been running with it. So I think that's what I like about direct sales the most, is that I'm in complete control of my destiny.
Definitely. Definitely. So we appreciate the viewers who are tuning in with us. If you guys are just getting here, we are here live with our guest, Curry Russell. We would love to have that interaction with you guys because we are here for you guys. So if you have any questions, hashtag Ask Uncle Balls, go ahead, drop your comments below in the comment box. We will throw your comments up here. We will throw your questions up here. We will talk about what you guys want to talk about because Curry and I could go on all day talking about things back and forth, but we are here for you guys. We want to make sure that you guys are having an interactive experience, and we want to make sure that you guys are getting value out of this. So, that military experience that you mentioned really must have given you that attitude about not being afraid of hearing no and being able to overcome your failures.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you hear no a lot in the military. I mean, I will say that I was broken as a young person, and taught that I wouldn't quit. There was the military makes you a better person whether you want to be or not. You go into it, and these drill sergeants and the sergeants that you have, drive that negative out of your life by beating the crap out of you mentally. It wasn't a physical beating, it was a mentally beating. And I remember one time, and I'll tell you just one quick story, where I went to my very first PT test, and I'm down doing push-ups, and I'm like, I know how to do push-ups. I can do push-ups. And they're counting, and they're going 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, just like they're like counting. So I get to like 15, and I've done 60 push-ups, and I just get up. I just quit. I literally quit. And I said the words, I quit. And they were like, oh, you quit, do you? And they sent me to the back. And then later that day, they came and found me in a class while we were in a class and took me behind the building away from everybody and smoked me until I was crying. And they literally had me doing exercises till I was crying. And they said, you will never say you quit again. And I'll tell you, I didn't say that I was going to ever quit, ever. From that, I mean, it was whatever it took. We're going to get past it. And so I don't have a quit attitude. There's no possible way. I mean, unless somebody throws me out or kicks me out, I'm going to keep building. I'm going to keep helping. I'm going to keep showing people. I'm going to keep growing because there's an objective. There's an option. And so you got to go for it.
Definitely. Yeah, that's when I first got started with this opportunity, that was one of the things that I decided was, hey, if I'm going to give this a go, there was an option to commit for a full year. I sold my truck. I didn't have anything. We had just lost my camper and my car in a fire. And so I had a gun and a trailer and my truck. And I sold my truck and spent the last money that I had in order to commit for a full year, because I knew that if I just went month to month, then that would give me the option to quit. And I didn't want the option to quit. I knew that if I was going to make a decision, I was going to make a decision. And so giving myself that time to commit to the opportunity, to really dive into it and to give it a full go has really taught me so much more about myself. And even over the last, say, couple weeks, I've had my doubts, and I've started asking myself, well, what am I doing? Is this what I really want to be doing? And I have just gotten over that quit and said, no, this is what I'm doing, and I'm going to keep doing it. And so you just got to just shed that aside. Once you find something that you're willing to commit to, make a decision, go all in, and burn the bridges. My mentor, he quit his job when he first got started, with the network marketing industry and online marketing. He quit his job. And so he didn't give himself an option to go back on it. And that's not a decision that everybody can make. I personally have the luxury of having no kids, no bills. I have debt, but I'm going to be able to take care of my debts going through this. My debts aren't an immediate, detriment to where I'm going. I'll be able to pay off my debts through this. But, I have a wonderful luxury that, I don't have very many expenses. I paid for all of my vehicles in cash. I've never paid rent. To this day, I think I've paid rent for a total of 3 months total. Um, but just being able to commit to something and to dabble in it is one thing, or to do your research is another thing. But if you're going to make that decision and don't quit.
Can I add something to my perspective that is a little different, right?
Send it.
Yeah. So I started in a place where a lot of people aren't. A lot of people get into these businesses because they need to. They need a way out. They need a way to overcome something. And I started this already making a very high income. I mean, I joined my business because I wanted the product. I didn't want the business. I didn't understand the business. I didn't even understand what I had signed up for. I got involved, and then my buddy said, "Hey, you need to go to this meeting that we're having in, this town 3 hours from your house." And I said, "I'm not driving 3 hours to go to a presentation for an entire day." And we went to that meeting, and that was the moment that I got it. That was the moment that it changed my life. And that person who was talking, he had what I wanted. I didn't realize that I could eventually walk away from not being in a hotel room by myself to having every moment with my wife and kids. And so I went from wanting the product to wanting what that man had. And so I changed my perspective and my goals because someone else showed me an option. And it's to replace a high income with this business, and then walk away having the protection of an entire network of people.
Hey, what's going on, Jonah? Glad to have you, buddy. So, talk real quick. Just give me a quick 60 seconds on what you're doing right now professionally and where you're going to be transitioning to, what your goal is with all of this.
Sure. So I'm currently in software for a public safety company, and I travel around the world doing public safety applications. And I've been doing this now for 15 years. I've traveled almost 80% of the year all over the world. And that is where I'm currently at. The next move is to replace this job with either affiliate marketing money or direct sales money. And so I only discovered affiliate marketing this year, and I'm already having massive success with affiliate marketing. And it's created a name for myself and for what we're doing with our other businesses. And so I'm pushing it pretty good. I mean, I'm pushing it pretty good to create multiple, I'd like to get about 5 figures from affiliate marketing.
Now we're talking 5 figures per year, or 5 figures per month?
Per month. Month.
Well, because I know we got a lot of viewers out there, and so most people, when they talk about their income, they talk about their income on an annual basis. And so on the online sector, working online or network marketing or affiliate marketing, whatever it is, traditionally people talk about how much money they're making per month. So I just wanted to clear that up real quick.
Yes, yeah, and I'm not trying. I don't want to brag. I'm saying that it's possible. So those are possible numbers. I mean, I know people in direct sales who are making 6 figures a month. I mean, every day, every month, making 6 figures. And so me saying that I want to make 5 figures, $10,000 or $20,000 a month from multiple streams of income, that's doable. I mean, those are doable numbers. It just takes time and effort and a willingness to go through the fires to get there. If you're not willing to suffer through some of the fires, it might not be for you.
Yeah, you kind of were talking about what was possible there for a second, and I remember when I was, young, I remember thinking to myself, well, if somebody else could do it, I can do it. I'm a human being, they're a human being. If somebody else can do something, there's nothing stopping me from doing it. And I remember thinking that from a young age. And so, to be able to look at other people who are in this industry doing certain things is there's nothing that's too complicated to be able to replicate. So it's just a matter of putting in the time in order to learn some of the basic skills and to be able to, put that time in and acquire the skills that you need.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, there's nothing that can stop you. If you put your mind to it, you make that decision, and you just realize that you made a decision. There's no other option. It's not, if you make a decision and then you turn from it, that wasn't a decision.
Right. Steve says he wants to make $1,000 per day, so I went ahead and threw that up here on the screen. If you guys,
he's going to.
That's what's up. I look forward to seeing you on the beaches of the world, Steve. So if you guys have any questions for our guest, Curry Russell, please go ahead, hit me up in the comments below, #AskUncleBalls. In the meantime, we are going to get 3 mentors from Curry. So you can't use Gary Vaynerchuk. You can't use Russell Brunson. You can't use Richard Branson. Let me get 3 mentors, whether they're in person, they're online, they're books that you read, any type of media. Who are the 3 people that you look up to and that you learn from the most?
Recently I've actually fallen in love, and I hate saying that, but I've fallen in love with Grant Cardone. His absolute drive with no concern for the outcome is incredible. Some of his books I've been reading, and I love them. I can't throw out Eric Worre. Eric Worre is the godfather of network marketing. He is. He might not think so, but having GoPro, that's a Bible. If you don't have GoPro, and that's not your number one book for how to, like your step by step, 7 steps, that's how you do it. That's how you do it every single day, 7 steps. Number 3.
I got you stumped, do I?
You do. I don't put a lot of, I hate saying this, but I look up to some people, but I don't idol people. So I really don't have, right now I'm pretty idolizing our friends, Grady and Joel, man. Those guys those guys are literally showing us a better way. And I'm very thankful for those guys, and I talk to them a lot, and I praise them a lot. So they're pretty high on my list of people I admire right now.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Curry and I are both, we both promote. We have our own. We're branding ourselves. Curry uses a couple of different products than I do, but we're also a part of the same program. And he mentioned 2 of the leaders in our company. They're actually co-founders for this company. And they get on a regular basis, 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a week to share valuable information with the community to ensure that those who are using the product and promoting the product are going to be successful. So if you guys are here watching this Facebook Live and you guys are here because of Curry, go ahead and hit up Curry for some more information if you guys want to learn how to get started. If you guys are here watching this video because of me, feel free to hit me up. I'd love to answer any questions that you guys have. These lives are going to be put up on YouTube for archives, so you guys are going to be able to review them, watch them whenever you'd like. And if you'd like to get on the Ambition exclusive show, share some of the information that you have, tell your story, please go ahead and hit me up. In the meantime, it is getting late, and I don't want to take too much of your time, Curry, because I know that your time is valuable. So I appreciate you for coming in on the show, taking the time out of your schedule to be here for the viewers. Is there anything else you'd like to finish with?
Stop caring about the outcome.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, that is just a solid way to end this Facebook Live. So we appreciate everybody for stopping in. As you guys go about your week, remember that your time is valuable. So hashtag take control, hashtag don't quit, and stay motivated.
Thank you, Sean.